So it is the 15th of July, 2023, beautiful day. Just going to an art discussion with Benjamin Brands.
Yeah, that's sort of see this stuff over here. So when I was
Outsiders and Others. So I'm arriving fashionably late here. Hopefully I'm not going to disrupt everyone.
I had oil sticks standing there staring at just doing this and just over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a couple of things. So you know, Outsiders and Others, we're a nonprofit with a focus on bringing non-traditional artists to the forefront. This includes artists that identify as outsiders, self-taught, visionary, intuitive, naive, and living with a disability. We're also a volunteer-run organization.
Yeah, I get to be a part of it. I get to, again, explore a bunch of started things, partially finished things, hunting through the mess, which is looking for one thing and having to go, forget it, I can't find that, I'll use this instead. It's interesting to see the colors that I actually chose. I'm so grateful that it works for gender as well, because obviously if we were at war with the space would no longer be a safe space that we could do this. So I feel like I'm set up with the things that already my brain can relax. That when it comes time to making art in whatever form,
And the artists you represent.
I can just focus on allowing the whatever it is in me to come out. Honestly, that took up a lot of time during the pandemic, this piece, because there was a lot of staring at it, waiting for the things on there to reveal themselves to me.
Because it's very different than the other two pieces on that wall, which for me are really focused. In comparison, but I don't know how you chose to stop in that one. I'm really interested in that. I don't know what my question is, but I'm kind of interested in that place where you live and make, and how you've created that environment, a very, very specific environment for yourself to be in. And so it seems like this safe place that allows you to create these things and work them out, and then at some point they get out there on the wall.
So first of all, thank you to my wife, Genevieve, for allowing this tiny little Vancouver special apartment to become my art studio. Walls are destroyed. And not like, some of it's pretty, you can see all the look at art has been made over time. Some of it's just nasty black water that's been thrown on the wall to deal with a mistake or something. And because at the end of the day, it's cheaper to not get our damage deposit back than to pay every month for a studio space. So he'll do this to me when we leave, and I'll go, sorry, man. Don't ask me for a reference. And I'll go, no problem. Just the compromises that have to be made, the approximations of ideas.
Your way back to Vancouver, furniture.
When I see a maquette, I see a finished product. So I'm just like, I love that stuff. But I'm really, really interested in art of any kind where the artist allows you into their process and incorporates their process in their final product. I need an element of darkness in it. I need it to be playfully dark. I need it to be revealing.
The darkness part is what I think a lot of people are drawn to. I mean, you're able to convey a certain emotion that a lot of people aren't able to in the work, you know? And I think a lot of people are drawn to that because of that. It's not an easy thing to do.
You're doing your best. Well done in trying to give people an idea of what you're going to see. It seems so difficult. And what does it even mean at the end of the day? You're like, oh, I liked it. I saw it. It was outsider art. I know I liked it because it was, it could be, you could like it, you could not like it. I classify myself as other tropical. And I thought that was like really summed up everything that I was doing in my life, everything. And yeah, why not? This seems like an amazing term to me. It seems like a great genre to be a part of. I don't I mean, I probably, this is being taped, so I'm just going to say, I'll just say it. I don't call things what you want. If you're not trying to purposefully hurt somebody.
Does anybody want to ask a question right now? Anybody? Just throwing it out there. You have a question? Yes.
Collage elements in your work where you're using different materials and things like that. So do you find difficulty going from painting to collage like in the same piece, or how do you combine those things?
I'll usually have a few colored pencils in there and a paintbrush, and I don't even think about it. I don't even think about, okay, I'm going to switch to paper or back to paint. It's really, by the time I'm there, I'm in a sort of a hypnotic trance at that point in time, and no longer making those kind of conscious decisions. I'm just, it's happening. I'm a vehicle for what's happening.
Oh, it's okay, I'm not in a rush.
So complex, and to me, they really sort of reflect an artist with a really assured sort of aesthetic, visual style. I'm just curious, for your first canvases this complex? Like, I mean, if I were to start painting, I would probably do like a sailboat, something really simple. I'm just fascinated by the complexity, and I don't think sophistication might not be the right word. So I'm just wondering, your first canvases when you first started, were they like this?
Yeah.
This is an
That blows my mind.
That's an older one, too. That's
Really?
probably
The smaller ones.
Can I try on that one?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Because I'm fascinated.
Because everything about him is that complex, and everything he does at that, when he says I gotta do it now, like the song, I've watched him bird the most complex song I've ever seen, like blah, like puked it out. Everything he does, and he always, like since he was a kid. Now his parents his dad has a fascinating aesthetic. Like he went, like his parents have really cool eyes, both of them, I think. And Detroit, like growing up, spending so much time in Detroit and going to see the Heidelberg project there, like as a kid, that was like in him. But I've never seen him do anything that doesn't instantly come out that complex.
I'm glad you said that, and I didn't. If I had said that, I would have been really pleased. But I honestly think where the age I was, like I've been committed to creating for such a long time that by the time I got to my this journey with the visual arts, I had a bar of like what something a creative endeavor looked like in my head or was supposed to sound like. If you're gonna paint, it's got to be something that is going to crush me or turn me on to a point where I want to do it again. I'm not looking for a hobby, I'm looking for something to do always and forever, with all of my energy.
Most academically, artistically trained artists, myself included, it's like the point of it is to teach you other things and to stop your spontaneity, to remove your impulse. And so you have all this other information to consider before you go forward. And what you're explaining is the exact opposite of that. So, and I always say one's not better than the other, they're just completely different things.
Yuri way back to Vancouver, Richard.
Anybody else want to ask a question? Yeah, go ahead.
The question.
Sure.
I'm not sure how to put this properly, but with this piece, like I'm particularly fascinated by the techniques, because I can't even count how many techniques you've used in there. It seems like investigating techniques is part of the playfulness of it. But I guess my question is like, how do you decide to use a technique? Do you develop these techniques before you create the piece? Is anything you have to say about technique?
That is a really early one. And you didn't even realize you were playing with technique,
really?
but you were.
Oh, really?
I wouldn't have even said that until you asked that question, but I think you were. And you do play with it only on the canvas in the moment. There's no pre-play, there's no side, ooh, I should try this. There's none of that.
Technical things going on in that piece.
Yeah.
So,
There's a little bit.
All the tape,
Yeah.
the
the,
texture.
yeah, like, okay, see this stuff over here? So when I was staring at this piece, waiting to was doing, I had oil sticks and in my fingers, and I was just standing there staring at just doing this.
Oh, okay.
And just over and over and over and over again until eventually it required the opposite of a colorful multicolor circle going down, which was just straight black.
We repeated patterns and colors so that it's all pulled together
For example,
unconsciously or whatever.
for example, what interests me is the sort of, it looks sort of like film that's being stretched apart. You know, this,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Cool.
I have no idea how you did that.
That's that black and white.
Which-
Yeah,
This-
that's sort of those, yeah,
This,
yeah, exactly,
this-
exactly.
Yeah. Do you want to know what I did?
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes it ruins it. And you're like, I just want to be in the dark. So I think I touched upon how I like to put paint down with mostly things other than, it doesn't just have to be a brush.
Right.
It can be a brush sometimes, but not always. But these are just like a piece of plastic like this. Just playing with. I hope it's okay that I keep going back to music analogies because it's the easiest way for me to describe my process. So like this was just playing with how little paint could I get on this and carry this whole surface of this canvas. And exploring, and when the first time I did it, I was like, oh yeah, and maybe this one is the first thing that happened.
Yeah, no, I think I was curious because sometimes you hear of like musicians who say, oh, that song just like it completely came through me. I don't know how. I'll hear that a lot, or yeah, or like,
Sometimes it comes all at once, like music too. Sometimes it would be a song like almost done, and I don't understand how that happens. And sometimes it's not that at all. Sometimes it's little bits, and then it builds, and then it builds, and that's my experience of your art too.
Because every time you're forced to do the alternative, the chipping away at it, it didn't come all at once. Those are usually when you get to that next, I find for me that I get to the next level here of what I'm capable of doing. There's more learning in that struggle. The ones that come all together are obviously a gift, but you can't just wait for those because those don't come often enough.
With some thoughts.
Compared to these, which were like 30s.
These were fun, these ones here, and then I think everybody needs to stand up and tell a little bit. And then we'll sit right back down. Everyone sit for a second. It's good for our spines. This is, these all took a while longer because it's all done on layered paper, so I'm more patience and more fun to get to like, to build, to be more responsible for the surface than for the just the image that was.
What do you mean by layered paper?
They're all, I taped paper all over my wall and then went at it with different primers and things and tapes and then I started tearing them apart and then retaping them to the wall and then finding the sections that I thought belonged to be overlapped and like if you shone a light through this one here, and there's like a whole other thing that happens behind it.
Oh, okay.
And it's, yeah, there's a whole other thing there that's available to the person who purchased it for free shipping.
Oh.
Same with this one next to you and the one in the corner there.